ask people to go to YouTube. Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Yo.
There we go. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, checking. Yeah.
Yes.
Testing.
Interesting. I'll keep checking that. I'm going to go ahead. You ready?
Okay. We ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to call the meeting to order for our TPC meeting here on the, the 23rd of April at 12:33. We are setting a new pace, a new procedure, and I think it'll go well. But just for starts, what I'd like to do is 3 or 4 items that action is required. But before I do that, if you can hear me, raise your hand, please. Okay, looks like everyone can hear me. What I would like to do is we go through this. It'd be just like our regular meeting, except we won't be sitting next to each other. When we come for action, I would like to get an aye but raise your hand as well to where we can make sure we've got a quorum of, a majority. So with that, do welcome you. If anyone from the public is listening on, an item number 4 will be reading the public comment period. So if you want to make a comment to this board, please do so by way of YouTube, and we'll be reading an item number 4. So at that point, welcome, and I'm going to have Amanda to have a roll call if she would. Amanda?
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, everybody. I'm just going to be reading the voting numbers and alternates. I would ask, I'll be looking for you, but I would ask that you say if you're in attendance. Judge Summers. Keith Griffey.
Here.
Felicia Harper. Mayor Hodges. Mayor Deareth.
Here.
Matt Meunier.
Here.
Mayor Moore.
Andy Crouch for Mayor Moore.
Hi, Andy.
Hi.
Mayor Gahan. Christian Street. Larry Summers. John Rosenberger. Mayor Chester Burton.
Here.
John Haywood. Mayor Tonini. Bernie Bowling.
Here.
Jack Kaufman. Brian Dixon.
Here.
Sean Carruthers.
Justin Tackett here for Sean Carruthers.
Thank you. Commissioner McGinnis. Kathy Eaton McCallop. Tony McClellan. Robin Bolte. Mayor Chapman.
Here.
Secretary Jim Gray. Matt Bullock.
I'm here for, I represent the secretary.
Thomas Witt. Steve Ross.
Thomas Witt is here. I just got it unmuted.
Hi, Thomas. Thank you. Tanya Higdon.
Here.
Mayor Fisher. Vanessa Burns. Gretchen Milliken. Gretchen's chatted, so I know that she's here. Dirk Gowan.
I'm here.
Jeff O'Brien.
Here.
James Welch. Brian Sinwell. Dan Mann. Dan Mann. Judge Vogel.
Jim Urban for Judge Vogel.
Thanks, Jim. Ryan Ramsey.
Kevin Beatty for Ryan Rams.
Thanks, Kevin. And TARC Jeffrey Hoban. Anybody from TARC? Very good. Thank you. I think we're in good shape.
We have a quorum.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a quorum. Well, let's roll into item number 2. It's a review of a Transportation Policy Committee and Transportation Technical Coordinating Committee meeting procedures. Amanda?
Thank you. I'm going to share a slide. All right, guys. Given the state of emergency declared by both governors and the CDC guidelines for staying healthy, MPO committees will continue to meet just as we are today to conduct critical business. This means when there are action items to address, the committees will meet via Zoom and the public is participating via YouTube. We had originally planned to have the public on via Facebook, but users were required to log in. So in the interest of greater accessibility, we have made the change to YouTube, and this has been noted on our website and Facebook page. Meeting materials will always be posted in advance of our meetings, and an email address provided for the public to provide comments in advance. After all meetings, the video recording will be posted on YouTube, on Kipda's YouTube channel. We sincerely appreciate this committee's flexibility and support, and I will be glad to take any questions on these meeting procedures.
Any questions to Amanda on the procedures? All right, thank you. There's no action required there, but to stay tuned. But we'll be doing this probably for the next 3 months. Who knows? Item number 3. This is the approval of our minutes for the February 22nd meeting. Need motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Bill Derek.
Second.
Motion second.
Jeff O'Brien.
Jeff O'Brien made the second. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? All in favor, say aye and raise your right hand, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you so much. Item number 4. Now, this is our public comment period. There was no comments given to us prior to the meeting. I'm going to ask Elizabeth if anyone has called in with public comments. Elizabeth?
We do not currently have any public comments. We thank the people who are watching, though, on YouTube.
If I understood that right, there was no comments at all.
That's right.
Okay, good deal. Well, let's move on to number 5. That is fiscal year 2021 Louisville, Jefferson County, Kentucky, Indiana Metropolitan Planning Area Unified Planning Work Program. Miss Amanda Spencer is going to have that as well. By the way, Amanda's mom is listening on YouTube. So let's get out of here, okay?
Thank you, Mayor. I really appreciate that. Okay, guys, the MPO is required by the Federal Highway and Federal Transit Administrations in cooperation with KYTC, NDOT, and TARC to outline funding and planned activities each fiscal year in a unified planning work program. The draft fiscal year 21 work program was provided to both states and has been revised by our staff based on all comments received. The document, which was provided in your meeting packet, gives assurances that we will meet federal planning regulations for, just as in one example, maintaining our long and short range plans. TPC approval is needed this month in order for Kipda to enter into agreements with both states for our fiscal year 21 funding. I'd be glad to take any questions and do ask for the committee's approval on our fiscal year 21 work program.
Okay. Any questions? You should have that, as Amanda said, as part of your packet. So please, any questions on this plan? Do I have a motion to approve the plan?
Jim
So
Urban.
moved.
Yep.
Jim Urban and Andy Kraut second. Andy, you second it?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Any comments? If not, all in favor, say aye. Raise your right hand.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The motion carries. Thank you so much. Item number 6, that's the MPO dedicated program for Kentucky cost increases. Nick Vale is going to handle this for us. Nick, are you listening?
I am.
Good deal.
Thank you. I think Amanda's going to share a slide here. Okay. So last month at the the February TPC meeting, you all approved staff to move forward with an opportunity for Kentucky cost increases through the Surface Transportation Block Grant Program. That's one of the MPO dedicated programs we manage. Kentucky sponsors were allowed to submit applications for existing projects by March 27th. Kipda did receive 9 cost increase applications. Detailed information about these was included in the packet. We basically have kind of 3 groups of projects here. Four of the applications were below the 20% threshold that requires kind of explicit TPC for an exception. 4 were above that that do require exceptions. And then there was 1 that's below the threshold, but it's kind of in a gray area, and I'll speak on that in a minute. So all of these projects were presented to the TTCC working group early in April. We had, I think, almost every agency represented on the working group. The working group did decide to recommend approval of all 5 of the projects that we presented as exceptions. 4 of those, and I'll mention them, were the 4 that were above the threshold were J-Town's Ruck Regal Parkway project, Louisville Metro's Dodge Gap Louisville Loop project, Louisville Metro's Dixie Tiger project, and Oldham County's LaGrange Underpass west of LaGrange project. So those are the 4 that were actually over the 20% threshold. And then there was 1, J-Town's Patty Lane Sidewalk Safety Improvement Program. This project is definitely in a weird gray area. The project was originally funded with Transportation Alternatives funds, but it was moved to Surface Transportation funds due to some rescission impacts that actually didn't take place. Long story short, that project, J-Town has asked that project be moved back to the Transportation Alternatives program. So it's in a gray area because as of right now, it's currently an eligible STVG project, and the working group reviewed this and did recommend TPC approval. There was no TTCC meeting this month, so this recommendation is being presented for the first time to you all today. So all of the basically my action is to request approval of the 5 cost increase exceptions, one of which being that gray area, the Patty Lane project. I'm definitely happy to answer any questions or take any comments you may have.
Okay, any comments? Any questions from anyone? This action is requested, so I need a motion to approve MPO dedicated.
I make a motion.
Cost increase. I'm sorry, somebody say something?
Mayor Chester Burton, I believe.
Yes, Chester Burton made a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
She made a motion to approve.
Okay, I'm sorry, made a motion to approve. I need a second then. Bernie
Second,
Bolin,
Jeff O'Brien.
second. Any comments from anyone? All in favor, say yes and raise your right hand, or say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Hearing none, motion does carry. Thank you so much. Item number 7, this is a schedule for the upcoming amendments to the MPT plan. Nick and David handling this. Which one's going first?
It'll be me, Mayor.
All right, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make everyone aware that Nick and I have started the process for the first and second to the Metropolitan Transportation Plan that was adopted just a few months ago, and the FY 2020 to 2025 Transportation Improvement Program that was also adopted just a few months ago. So there's a schedule that we are adhering to that was in your packet for the 2 amendments, and it's now on your screen. We began the first amendment on March 23rd, and with project changes or new projects that might be being added to either the plan or the TIP, and anticipate bringing the amendments back to this body in July for adoption. There are several steps, as you can see, along the way between now and July. Kipda staff is working to make sure that we stay on schedule and everything will advance as needed. The second amendment process will begin on May 15th, and it will follow the same steps as the first, resulting hopefully in committee consideration in October. As with Amendment 1, there are several steps in between starting and ending this process, and we are going to work hard to make sure that advances smoothly. The other thing we want to bring to your attention is that we are excited that Kipda has updated the transportation planning portal and has provided new tools that we think might benefit the process. Now, I use the word new loosely. Basically, what we are doing is updating what was already there and trying to make it easier for project sponsors to submit information that needs to be reflected as we go forward with the amendments. So we are pretty excited. We do have some training opportunities that we're putting together right now and should have them ready to go by April 30th. We will have a video that people can use at their leisure. And we are also working on some written guidance as well. And as always, Kipda staff is ready to help you with any questions or concerns or issues you may have as you begin to use these new tools. So we're pretty excited about that. Nick, you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you hit all the high points.
Okay.
No action is needed. We are just trying to bring this to make sure that you are aware of this process.
Okay. No action. Any comments, any questions anyone has? Okay, moving on to item number 8 then. This fiscal year 2020 to fiscal year 2025 Transportation Improvement Program. Nick, you're up again, sir.
Yes, these are the administrative modifications. This is the first one for our new TIP. This is mostly a kind of a cleanup of things that have come up over the last 3 or 4 months while we were waiting for the new TIP to be approved. There was one minor change that we made yesterday, or I think it was sent out this morning. 2 Clarksville projects, Blackston Mill Phase 1 and Phase 2. They're swapping some funds within their project to try to address some significant change orders that have come in. And we're working with them to try to get that accomplished. So I can take any questions or comments on any of the changes in the admin mod 1 if there are any, but there's no action needed, and this is just for information.
Great, thank you, Nick. Any questions, any comments? All righty, very good. Item number 9 is our other business. Any other business to come before this board? Comments as far as, yes, Nick, go ahead.
I would just like to mention tomorrow we are holding a Zoom meeting for the working group that's working on the update to the project management process. So we are still planning on having that meeting and having a first discussion about staff's recommendations, and probably some follow-up to that as well. But just wanted to plug that.
Okay, good deal. Thank you. With this being our first meeting, we're about to finish it. Any comments, anything we can do to make it easier for you all to hear, to understand? We welcome that. Okay, if not, I guess the best one, the motion to adjourn, please.
Kevin Meady.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Bernie Bolin and a second by Jim Urban. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thanks.
No meeting in May.
Thank you.
No meeting in May.
Oh, okay, no meeting in May. I just found out. So good. We've got another month free. Thank you. We're adjourned.
Thanks.